Hi everybody, you're obviously here joining us on our sampler quilt, and this is the block we're starting with. Everything is aimed totally at a beginner, so you know it might seem very simple to some people, or you might just be able to ignore me and crack on yourselves. But first thing to do, open your package. You'll have a sheet of instructions. What I'm doing at the moment is I'm making the quilt and doing the little old videos as we go along, so I'm not got instructions to show you yet because I'm going to type those once I've got all my photographs in place. So there'll be a little bit of photography going on, but there we go. So this is a basic 9-patch block. That means all the squares are the same size and we're just going to join them together. As you can see, they're in a 5:4 ratio, so that we've got like the corners and the center the same, and then these are the contrasts, but you could put them in any order you want if you don't want them to look so structured as mine. The most important thing, and the thing that you will have hopefully done by now, is watch the introduction video to the whole quilt, which tells you how to get your 1/4 inch correct on your sewing machine. And that if you don't do anything for like a day or two or a week or two, just practice you getting your 1/4 inch correct before you go onto your fabric. So we've got squares. That's the first. Everything we aim to do is to get our pieces into a regular shape that will come together easily. So that's what we're doing with our squares. We're going to make rows. So I'm going to make the top row, middle row, bottom row. I'm making all of these in real time which I don't usually do. I might have already had some done, but I wanted to show you how quickly it'll go together. If we're still here, you know, in about a week's time, you'll know it didn't quite go to plan. So I've picked up 2 pieces of fabric from the top row, and I'm going to place them right sides together like so, lining up your edges, that all of your edges, but importantly this one, that's your seam where you're going to join. And then just check that these are straight, because if you did, like, let's say you're only looking down here and you think, oh, that's okay, you've got to make sure this is in line as well, so you don't want to see any sticky out bits underneath.
Square it up, in basic means.
Only with your fingers though.
Yeah.
So I know where my 1/4 inch is on my sewing machine, so I can just stitch away. Don't go too fast. If you feel the need for pins, I meant to say that at the beginning, you can put pins in or not, whatever you prefer. And if you are an absolute beginner, the best thing to do is to stitch one seam at a time, and then take it out of your sewing machine and clip off this little, if you've got any little ends. Can you see it, Mark?
Yeah.
There. Clip it up. Clip it.
Snip it off.
Snip it off so it's out of the way. Pop it back there. Then pick up your next row. I don't usually go all the way. I might do a couple, and then you'll see. I join them into pairs to start with. So I'm putting together exactly the same, keeping my 1/4 inch accurate. Second seam. Third one on my 3rd row.
Why aren't you snipping the ends on that?
Because this is where my sewing machine cuts off their thread itself.
Okay.
And when I had it, I phoned the manufacturer and I said, it's leaving all little ends on my thing, and they said, take it or leave it. That's what it does. So
your sewing machines might not have that function.
if you haven't got that function, right,
use the old tested way of a pair of scissors.
you take your lift up your fabric, cut it off like that, and there's no on that end, so that's okay. I just automatically do that.
And make sure you put them down in the right way around it.
Yeah, not like this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Make sure they'll have the picture, won't they, with their pattern as well. Keep referring to your pattern, because it is easy to do what Mark just said, put them in the wrong way around.
Especially if you get into a flow and you think, oh, I've got this. Oh, that's easy. I can do this.
Yeah. I sometimes find the easier ones are the ones you do wrong. Because you think, oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm just... So we've got 1 row complete. How long have we been going, Mark, on our thing? Can you tell from that?
Nearly 5 minutes.
See, look, piece of cake. if you wanted to pin, take a couple of pins, put them together like so. Pop your pins in this way so that you're not going to stitch over them, but if you did, the world doesn't come to an end. If you put them the other way, it can come to an end and you break your needle. So what I would do if I was pinning would be to go like that, and then as I approach this little one, I'd take it out like that.
And they're easier to come out that way than you try and do it lengthways, aren't they?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Okay, so now we've got our 3 rows complete. Now we've got to press them. Okay, so I'm just going here now, Mark.
Yep.
Okay, so what we need to do for this, you take each row at a time and you want to press your seams opposite each other. And sometimes, quite often, they might want to go one way more than the other. So I've just picked that up. I haven't done anything to it, like a magic trick. And I can see that these seams want to go out, look. Okay, they might not have, but I can see that they do. So I'll just follow what they want rather than upsetting them, because there's no reason not to. When you get onto complicated blocks, it sometimes is a bit different. So press this away from you. If you lift up your fabric a little bit, it makes it lie flatter, and just press away from you like so. None of this. No. Press. Turn it round and press away from you. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I
It's
thought
a
I'm
bit
talking to
bit
myself.
slow on the response there, sorry. Just making sure I got the shots right.
Okay, so
Flick it over so people can see what way it's lying.
no, I'm not going to say that now.
Oh, okay.
Nothing changes, does it? Got extra staff in today as well. Sarah's going to come in with photography any minute. So we've pressed these out towards our flowery fabric.
Yep.
So the next row you need to press in towards your flowery fabric. Okay. And also you don't do it this way. I wouldn't do that. Never. Because you can press a little tuck in. You do it okay?
Yep.
So I still always press from the top only, because once you press a tuck in, you can get it out, but it never lies completely flat afterwards. So you should be doing it gently, relaxed, no stress. But the pressing, the sewing and the cutting are all important. Luckily you have a kit that's been cut, so you don't have to worry about that. If it's inaccurate, it'll be Mark and Sarah's fault, not mine. Bear that in mind.
Harsh.
But they are very well trained. Very well trained. Okay, so put that into its row. And now we're just going to take a photograph. So I'll move out of the way. Yeah. Should I do a song or anything?
I know, I'll come off and see the song. Oh, Sarah's hands. Just doing that because it's as we go along. We take the pictures ready for the pattern.
Okay. So now we've gone from squares to rows. We need to join those rows together. Pick them up, put them on top of each other. Now, the aim of the game always is to get these seams to line up. Okay, so let's say I put it on it there. It wouldn't be lining up. There'd be a little gap, wouldn't there? You see that?
Yes, yeah.
If you click it together, like I haven't even picked the other one up. If you like go like this, you can feel it. Once you've done it a few times, you'll get the hang of this. You feel that the seam is flat and together. So when you peel it back, look, luckily it's exactly correct. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you wanted to, you could pop a pin in, entirely up to you, or not. Entirely up to you. I never pin, but you've got to remember, if this is the first quilt you're making, this is about the 3,000th quilt I've made, so you know, I just prefer not to have pins in. So if my pin was in, I'd take it out as I went along. With it not in, I just feel it here and make sure it's right. Once I've got past this one seam that is now in, secure, I then pop my other one down. So I don't think about this lining up until I get to the other to it. And if it's not quite right, you know, it might have a little bit of, can you see there, like a little bit of a, can you see that, Mark?
Yeah, a little bit of,
yeah,
wavy line, wavy edge.
Harsh. Just make sure it lies flat as it sews. Keep your finger on this bit until it's way too dangerous to do so. Don't let it flip back like that one just did. And there you go. Now I'm going to press, makes a noise that, doesn't it? I'm going to press this seam now, because if you join the other one onto it, sometimes it's hard to get your iron in, especially I've only got a diddy iron here, look, using this, but if you've got a full size iron, it's hard to get it in and you might end up squashing your seam differently. So bring it over to me and I'm going to squash it down like that. Imagine a bigger iron and you're trying to get another seam in at once. It's trust me, it's better to, it doesn't matter which way you press it either. So now my seams are opposite, one going this way, one going that way, one going this way, one going that, and that seam is all the way up. When we put the other one on, I'll show you what not to do. Okay, pop it back, I can see what's happening, flip this one over. So same again, I automatically do it, look, I've got my thumb and my finger on here, I'm feeling it to get it in position. Put it under my machine, lining up my edges. Away we go, making sure it's correct and in line. Then go to this one.
That's flipped, isn't it? Look.
Again, it's having a flipping moment, isn't
it?
As a beginner, I'll show you. So when Mark said, look, that's flipped, see that there? You don't want that to happen. So if I were you, because you are a beginner, I would undo this sewing, just stitching just about that much and lie that flat so that it doesn't look like that. Okay, now if you can live with it, you can live with it, but if you
can you iron that flat a bit? No, that's okay.
Not really.
Just a suggestion.
Okay.
Is it going to affect anything if you don't correctly?
Not at this stage, only bulk. Like if you were quilting it and then suddenly you've got more bulk, like you've got a little tuck as well to go through, haven't you? Yeah. So for this, what we're doing now, but as a general rule, you know, and then once you've run your, I don't know, however many quilts, you might enter a competition and then you'd be in trouble. So I've got to tell you the correct way to do it, otherwise you'll get marked down and then you'll say, well, that pattern never told me that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press this correctly, right? So I'm pressing it, actually going to press it up. And then I think, oh, I'm going great guns here. And then I think, oh, that looks a bit funny. See that? If it's not pressed right, you will see it. So then I'm going to turn it over and look what's happened, which I did on purpose. You've got bits going up, bits going down, bits going up, bits going down. You need them all to go to lie flat the same way. So lift it up like so, move it out. You see it's harder, like when you press a tuck in. Do a bit of steam in this as well. Yeah, and then you can't hear, you won't be able to see a thing in the camera because it goes up this. You put this little travel line, put some water in, and then it gushes everywhere, and then it's gone in 10 minutes. Okay, so that is the end of that block. One block complete.
It's a 9 patch.
It's a 9 patch block, and it measures 12.5 inches. So that's the end of the first block in your 6. That's all we've got to do. So put that away. I put it in the packet with my other one, with my instructions till we need it again. Okay, see you next time. Bye.